Hey gang, Gomez Comic Collector's having a contest. He wants to know a few things. He wants to know how we got into collecting. Well, I've already talked about how I got into collecting through Mad, and I would buy off the newsstands and so forth, but I haven't really detailed true collecting, like with bags and backboards, going to a comic book store, and so on. This is the first proper back issue I ever got. I got it at a flea market, but it was in proper boxes with a bag and board. Obviously, I almost immediately took it out of the bag and board and ruined it, but this is the first one. So when I was 8 or 9, I was buying comics, whatever I could find. When I was 10, I basically stopped collecting comics because all my money had to go to Looney Tunes VHS. Well, when I was 11, we went on vacation. Vacation is torture for a kid. Like, if you strap a kid down and leave him in the sun for hours on end, it's called abuse. When you do it in a car on the way to the Anne of Green Gables house, it's called a vacation. So I needed anything to take the edge off, of the boredom, just the complete boredom of a vacation, and I was getting random X-Men, random Spider-Man, so on and so forth. Well, when we got home, I saw this in a local store. This is a Comics Values Monthly. I leaf through it, and I look at the prices for the comics I got when I was 8 and 9. It was like a mini fortune, because I had the first Jim Lee X-Men, which guides in here for like 22. I had the second and third appearance of Cable, which are like 12 in here, 12 apiece. I had the two first cover appearances of Venom, and they are like 15 apiece in here. But then even random issues of What If are guiding for 7. Random issues of X-Men are guiding for 4, 5, and 7. I was sitting on a mini fortune, except that I'd abused them so much that I knew that they were worthless, so I knew I had to start taking care of my comics. I don't remember where I read it, but there was some advice like, check your phone book for used bookstores. They may carry comics. Well, I check my phone book. There is a used bookstore in my town. It's off some side street that I've never been on. In the window is like a Kyle Baker Joker and like a Spider-Man thing. It's called a used bookstore, but the entire front is comics. The back has a couple of shelves of used books. This isn't the same copy, but it's the first comic I got as a back issue in this comic book store. Now, the woman who owned this store, she loved kids comics. She was obsessed with kids comics. So like half the back issues were Harvey and Archie. But that meant that I got Bone #1. In the Cerebus Guide to Self-Publishing, Dave Sim talks about how Jeff Smith couldn't sell Bone #1, like barely anyone ordered it. He had to go out on the Comic-Con circuit to try to sell every single issue before he could print issue 2. This store, my local store, was one of the few stores that ordered it, and I got it out of the dollar pile because she couldn't sell it. Of course, I didn't realize that I had the first print till about 1997. Because whenever they would show Bone #1 in a magazine, they would show the yellow logo. I had the red logo. It wasn't until like 1997 when they started listing the colors with the prints. So as soon as I found out that the red logo was the first print, I sold it to my dealer. And he gave me a very good price for it because it was very fine. It had been very fine in the store because I knew how to take care of comics by then. But he gave me a hundy. He knew I would spend it in the store, so it didn't matter to him. I found that store, which was about an hour away, when I was 12. It was just a better store, and I liked the people better. And though that store is closed now, I'm still pals with the owner. I go over to his house. He gives me his used previews. We sit and chat. It's very much like being in the store, except there's fewer people wandering in and out. And you want us to shout out 2 YouTubers under 150. So I'll shout out Thomas Churchill and Charlton66. They both have very nice channels. They're both pals. I encourage you all, well, actually, anyone watching this, they are very likely subscribed to both of them already. You also want us to show at least 4 books we've got recently. I got a bunch today in the mail. I didn't buy them. I won them. So thank you to Jimmy C for sending out these books. I won them in his contest. This is Wildcats #1 from 2006. It's the variant cover. Faces of Evil, Solomon Grundy, #1. The Nightman Gambit, #1 of 3. Batman, Sword of Azrael, Book 1. The first star-spanning issue, The Omega Men. LaCroix, Pestilence, #1 from IDW. The Savage Dragon, #1 from the first 3-issue limited series. And Bernie Wrightson, Master of the Macabre, #1 from Pacific Comics. So thanks again to Jimmy C, and thank you to Gomez Comic Collector for having this contest. Congratulations on the subs. And thank you all for watching. Damn it! I should have bet Sleepy Reader 666 and Wednesday's Serial that if I ever win anything, that they would appear topless in their videos. TOPLESS. Topless.